first, let us remember St. Agnes. And if you're not into that, let us remember what St. Agnes represents. I'm just a regular guy, so I'm just gonna be me and say what I have to say. So it was somewhat of a processional hymn, just calling upon what I've done before, but he came to me once again into my nightmare, shimmering shadow man. No one has seen what I've seen. I'm just a girl, and to hell I have been. Stripped naked, jogged through the street, covered in hair, bleeding, left to die there. He says I am deep. Mother to orphans and queen of the damned, damned to be set free. Okay, so I'm all caught up in it. I shouldn't be, but I am. I'm all caught up in it. Right, left. But then there's between the right and the left, and the outside of the right and the left. And definitely all the conspiracy theories, which is the modern mythology of the day. If you pay no attention to conspiracy theories, you're missing out on the mythology of the day. And I've been paying attention to them for 20 years. So not only am I into conspiracy theories, and I don't know all of them, nor do I know all of the contemporary storyboard, nor am I well versed in history or any subject, mathematics, science, of any branch, literature. There's that whole, what is it? About the trades, what is it? About someone who's averse in many trades but master of none. I'm like not even good at. Okay, well, I'm okay as a painter. So I'm like okay at one trade, master of none. I'm okay at one trade and terrible at everything else. Hope I didn't say master. Yeah, okay. Okay. But, this for sure I know. Conspiracy theories are the mythology of the day. And having subjected myself to the torture of exposing myself to the myriad conspiracy theories that are out there for the last 20 years, or 17 years anyway, I've been able to witness the way that those movements beneath the surface have reverberated on the surface. That is one of the great qualities of conspiracy theories. There's the movie Anonymous about Shakespeare, or about the supposed Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, whoever. I've talked before about the two ideas of Shakespeare plus the third. I'll leave it up to you to dig that up. But, yeah, that movie Anonymous about Shakespeare. Which comes into what I'm talking about today, which is like, well, there's the movie Anonymous about Shakespeare. There's the group Anonymous that refers back to the movie V, made by the people who made The Matrix. What somewhat inspired this video today was a video I saw about QAnon, which is related back to the group Anonymous, which is also related back to like LulzSec, and they talk about 4chan. It's also related back to like Pirates Bay. It's also related back to like BitTorrent. It's related to the dark web, which is, I'm gonna bust your bubble if you're on the dark web. There is no dark web, because prime numbers were figured out a long time ago. Encryption doesn't exist, but I'm gonna, burst your bubble? Now I'm gonna fluff your bubble. The people behind all of this don't give a fuck about what snuff films you watch. Most of them are fake anyway, and they made them. Everybody wins. And they will mine your darkness to win you. You are meant to be one with a W. You are meant to be one with an O. The Alpha and the Omega. And the Omega looks like a W of the one, and is enunciated as an O. The one's the one. There's only one. I wouldn't rely on me. If I were you, I wouldn't rely on me for this, but I would use me as a reference to seek elsewhere for those who actually know. I don't. But yeah, I saw some videos. This isn't a particular thread of the conspiracy theory that I've followed much lately, but QAnon came up today, and I was watching on a PBS NewsHour post with an expert on QAnon from a couple days back, talking about how, Q emerged in 2017 with Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. But Q been around a long motherfucking time. See, this is the thing about the internet. Information can be put up and taken down at a whim. There are probably, it's somewhere between 200 and 1,000 sites that I viewed 15 years ago that don't exist anymore. They're gone. I downloaded shit off of folks such as the Illuminati, who said, here's who we are, here's what we're doing. And I have thousands of pages on it, like 2 Bibles worth. The website doesn't exist anymore. So, one, documenting things that have happened over the past 20, 30, 40 years is just about irrelevant. Just about. So we have to reach in different directions, which is what I've done, because there are certain things which I might reference, which I can't reference anymore, because the source no longer exists. But the information those sources gave led me down paths to sources that still do exist. And now it's my job and your job, our job, to put this puzzle together. Because I was watching about QAnon today and the story today, as it was back when I first came upon it. Certainly. Back when, back 8-10 years ago when Benjamin Fulford predicted the tsunami that would destroy Fukushima. He talked about it, I watched it before it happened, and then it happened. That made a pretty big impact on me. His videos slip and slide around, but I'm assuming that original video is out there somewhere today as I make this video. Though when you are watching this video, it might not be out there. Might be a trail somewhere though. But that led me to things. And we're all meant to be led to the truth. I was, because that brought up when I saw the whole QAnon thing, because it's coming to the news now. Conspiracy theories are part of the news now. That's a good thing. Man, you got to get into conspiracy theories. But if you can't stomach it, don't go there. Conspiracy theories are for 2 types of people. One, for vicious, murderous motherfucks, which is most of us. And it's a way to divert that murderous fuckness into channels that are utilized by those above the pyramid, not at the top, but above it, truly above it. Because we're concerned about that pyramid and that all-seeing eye at the vacuity of the pyramid. That vacuity of the pyramid is a pyramid, which represents the entire pyramid, which is a vacuity, by the way. And for those who are fearful, disturbed, angry about that pyramid, good for you. You see the conspiracy. That's good. But please consider not that all quote unquote all-seeing eye at the top of that particular pyramid, never mind the tetrahedrons that surround it. Consider the fact that perhaps not just the all-seeing eye, but that imagination. Close your eyes. Can you see? I mean, I don't want to live blind, but if you close your eyes, can you see? When you dream, can you see? Right. There's an eye above the eye. That all-seeing eye encapsulates the pyramid of power that would destroy you. You exist. I exist. We exist. That quote-unquote all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid hasn't destroyed us yet. Why? Because that other eye above the pyramid has placed that pyramid, which is subject, the pyramid is subject to a series of tetrahedron, which are centered at eternity, not where the center of that pyramid is. Or at least that's a very good analogy. That pyramid is a prison. We're accustomed to seeing prisons like this. But the pyramid is part of the octahedron, which was related to the cube. Another prison. But there's always a way out of the prison. And I'm sorry I'm laughing. I'm going to get my ass kicked for it. I'm so presumptuous. But that doesn't mean I'm also not right about some stuff. I might be right about 15% of stuff. And if I'm right about that much, I'm like, yes. That dominance at the top of the pyramid, the dominance of dominance, is what keeps all that power-hungry motherfucking bricks of the pyramid in place so that they don't devour the rest of us. We think of that pyramid, we think of ourselves at the bottom of that pyramid, and in one sense, that's true. And that particular analogy of a pyramid is meant to rise into a sphere, such that what was once at the top, or wasn't at the top, but presumed at the top as a vacuity, becomes the center. Now, that person at the very bottom, in the middle of that pyramid, yes, you're still at the bottom. Who's that? Might as well be fucking God. While everything else is lifted up. And while that center of the pyramid, where there's a pyramid here, here's the pyramid. Here's the center of a pyramid. When that pyramid center rises up to the top, it's no longer the top because it's raised the rest of the pyramid around it, above it, below it, in every direction. So what I was trying to say about that whole quote-unquote Q deal, where it's like, this idea that we're going to destroy the satanic cabal. In one sense, that's true. However, and then I was watching a Dick Gregory, because it reminded me of a Dick Gregory video I watched, where he was talking about, and I'm completely butchering this paraphrasing, but where he talked about how his mom spent so much time warning him against Satan or the devil that he was a grown man before he realized the power of God. Has there been a cabal running the world of quote-unquote evil people who themselves don't see themselves as evil? The Georgia Guidestones or whatever reduced the world to 500,000 people. If that is such a thing, which it seems to be. Do these people see themselves as evil? No, they see themselves as good. They're trying to do a good thing in their worldview. Do I agree with them? Fuck no. I know they're wrong. Should I hate them? No. Should I fight against their effort with everything I have? Yes. Do I? No, but close. Why don't I fight with everything I have? Because I'm fucking scared. And sometimes I want to go to bed. Fighting with everything you have means you don't go to sleep. Part of that is strategic, because I realize that I'm not strong enough to not sleep yet. That sounds vampirish. There's more than one type of vampire, man. There's more than one type of bat. Some eat bugs, some drink blood, some eat fruit. You know which ones? The biggest ones. And they still got them big teeth. So all you Darwinists better rethink some shit. Some herbivores have big old motherfucking canines. And I don't remember reading that in Evolution of Species. I never read that, actually. But what I was trying to get to about destroying the quote-unquote satanic cabal, and I've talked about this before, but it's really worth noting. There's a couple things, and one's going to be really controversial, but I've just yet, and I want, trust me, I want to find something that refutes my knowledge of the comparison of the three Abrahamic religions. I want to find something, and in a way I can, but not in a way I can express. So I want to find something that I can express. For instance, Muslim Sufism, beautiful. Jewish Kabbalah, beautiful. Christian mysticism, beautiful. So that all congeals. So in that sense of the quote-unquote occult, means hidden, also related to oculus seeing, but the hidden meanings behind things. Awesome. But there's the milk and the meat of the word. Never mind the blood of the word. Never mind the muscle fiber of the word. But okay, so I'm going to get the controversial thing out of the way. And I would appreciate actually comments because I don't know. I'm trying to learn. I'm a dumb fucking house painter who grew up learning shit in high school that actually, I mean, in one sense I really like, but in another sense I recognize its shortcomings. So I could say what I might say, which would be like fucking dumbass motherfucking shit. But on the other hand, I think, wow, I live in a rural community. I have a public school. I learned some things. That's great. So, but I've learned a lot from my friggin' phone. Little thing this big right there. Wait, where was I going with that? I have to think for a minute. I can't remember exactly what my path was. So we'll go back. Abrahamic religions. So I'm going to get the controversial thing out of the way. So far as I know, and I don't know much, I know like 1% of 1%. But so far as I know, like the Abrahamic religions have ritual sacrifices. Right? Painting out lamb's blood above your door. That's a magic ritual. Never mind. I mean, kosher butchering? Yeah, that's... I mean, call it witchcraft, call it magic. It's a sacrifice. It's a ritualistic, magical, yada yada yada. If you want to call it satanic, go ahead. Sacrifice. There's two types of satanic. And then as far as Muslim goes, there's Khalil, right? I might be pronouncing that wrong, but there's the right way to butcher the goat. So there's the right way to butcher the whatever in Judaism. I know Jews eat a lot of brisket, the Breeze Gold, Ket, Proto-Indo-European word for gold, Shiketham. And but there was a lot about the lamb and the blood. And then Moses being like, don't worship that calf. Don't eat veal. And then I don't know shit about Islam, you know. But there's the whole concept of Khalil butchering, which is like the right way to do it, which is a magical, quote unquote, well, plus there's white and black magic, there's gray magic, there's 2 types of white, 2 types of black, 2 types of gray, and 1 type of complete magic. The word, the gospel, is meant to represent that completeness. I'm not saying it is, but that's what it's meant to represent. Why? Well, then when we come to Christianity, there isn't it's the opposite. So I'm asking for help from people. Like, I'm not trying to shit on other religions at all. I'm not. And I'm not even it's like I'm not even Christian. Plus I recognize the way that Christ relates back to Krishna, and I recognize the multi-thousand-year good conspiracy. Not all conspiracies are bad. Have you ever thrown a surprise birthday party? Congratulations, you're a good conspirator. Have you ever whispered with a friend to help a friend? Was there ever someone who was going to hurt someone that you love, and you secretly helped them get out of a situation that would hurt them in a way that would either make them or the ones that would hurt them, like either way or both? Like, did you ever do anything conniving to help someone because you were the only one who could? And did you ever keep information from 2 parties to prevent something bad from happening? Congratulations, you're a good conspirator. You're a conspirator. But what I was going to say about the whole Christian deal, and I recognize that I'm subject to a certain narrative, or to a certain web of narratives. But so far as I know, there's not like an officially sanctioned Christian butchering process, except for the idea of like don't eat meat on Fridays in Christianity or whatever. I don't know what day, and that's not even Christianity, that's Catholicism, whatever. I don't know much about that. It still has something to do with me. Though I will recognize that it's a form of pulling back in a sense. Though, I guess even Khalil and, I'm not even sure if I have that word right, I hope I'm not offending anybody, but like Muslim butchery Jewish butchery, they have certain rules, and at least that is a form of pulling back also. Good. But then, like the story of Jesus, even if it's just a story, turned a few fish into 1,000 fish. How many fish died? 3 fish. Well, 3 fish dying's better than 1,000 lambs. A lot of people ate. 3 fish died. That's better. And I'm just saying that as part of like a literary narrative concept. Okay. Anyway, that goes back to the whole QAnon thing with Satanism. And I've talked about it before, but it seemed important to bring it up again. Because there is that bloodthirsty power structure. And there's people who do some pretty wicked shit. My suggestion is for those who are not initiated into some sort of secret sect or whatever, like I'm not, but I have figured out some shit. I'm not right about all of it. But if I'm right about 20% of it, I am so far above the curve as far as game theory mathematics goes, where if you're at 20%, you're creeping up on Einstein. Never mind the fact that Einstein was a lot closer to the 50, which is close to God. The other 50 being free will, which is our collective choices. Never mind those who are creeping up on 100 because they crossed the threshold. But so yeah, are there those who conspire in certain ways? Sure. Do they have a certain amount of power? Sure. Is there something over them, ruling them? Yes. Is it good or bad? Well, there's a bad one above for sure. And who's above that? Waiting. Because if there's that pyramid, which I'm suggesting is a jail. Not even a jail, but a containment zone. A mathematical containment zone. Keeping bloodthirsty, power hungry, and we all are to a degree, so I don't mean to suggest that I'm like above it, because I'm in that pyramid too, to a degree, as we all are, to a degree, until we're all out. But there are those who are less or more in and out of it. And this is somewhat poetic. But I'm trying to appeal to the mathematical nature of it. I'm trying to bind. Not even so much bind, but relate. So there is that power dominance who does things they ought not do. But there's a lot of those who do things they ought not do who don't realize that they're doing things that are constructed at such a higher level that the things they think they're doing to assume power are illusions created by those of such higher reason that the things that the degraded types think they're doing to assume power in the form of stealing is actually just an illusion. Because the God of God even cares and loves those who do the greatest evil. God loves the devil. God is not above loving the devil. God kicked the devil out of heaven to teach the devil a lesson, but not to teach the devil a lesson like this, but to say, no, you gotta learn some things. And that's where we're all at, to some degree. Sympathy for the devil doesn't mean forgiving the devil for what the devil did wrong. Well, we all need to forgive, but it means recognizing that and fixing it the best we can within ourselves and amongst each other. I'm running out of time a bit now, so I'm gonna have to switch gears, even though I didn't wrap that up very well. And I've said it before. And of course, the lamb, which I talked about in Judaism, and it's very interesting that the lamb is the symbol of St. Agnes. I'm going to tie this all together someday. I hope I live long enough to tie this together, because up here it just exists like a fucking globe in my mind. But how do you write a globe? How do you talk about a globe? Right? How would I talk about the earth as it exists as a globe so that you saw the earth in your mind? I say there are folks who can do that, but you need to not just be the type of folk who can say it. You need to be the type of folk who can decode it, and it's a lot of work to get there. Or at least so I've been persuaded convincingly. But St. Agnes is the lamb, the lamb's blood put above the door. Who was sacrificed, I believe, the same year that the Council of Nicaea determined what would be the Bible that St. Jerome is accredited with writing, and how that relates to Hieronymus Bosch, how that relates to Raphael, how that relates to King James. It's this perfect symbolic puzzle, and I will tell it. I hope. And if not me, someone. And that's why I make these videos. It's because if I die before I get to say it, I may supply you, the viewer, with a notch in the key that you hold. You might hold a key that's missing a notch, and I might supply you that notch for the door you stand at. Why else would I live this way? In this age, right? This would be glorious in other ages, but in this age, in this day and time, I live in a pretty foul condition. I haven't taken a shower for 2.5 weeks because every day something more important comes up. Which in one sense is a sign of dementia, but when you're living in a mad world that murders, let's conservatively call it 150 million vertebrates a day. What's mad? Professor and the Man, right? Oxford English Dictionary was created by a dude from the Civil War in a mental institution who, late in his life, cut off his own dick. I haven't done that yet. So I'm not as smart as the guy who made the best dictionary in the world. Maybe I should cut off my dick. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. But... And if you have cut off your own dick, I'm not judging you. Say that too. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Hopefully I've thrown in enough cultural references. So the lamb is Saint Agnes, lamb's blood. And the goat is associated with Islam. The fish is associated with Christianity. I don't think we should kill fish. They got a spine. It's okay to eat fish, 'cause they don't have any feeling. Something in the way. Ooh. Something in the way, yeah. Ooh. Something in the way. But anyway, yeah, goats. If I were a goat, man, I might be a hardcore motherfucking Satanist. Worshipping that big old... What's that goat? Pentagram, dude? Just praying. If you lived in a world, I think of grizzly bears, maybe that's bad, because grizzly bears can be pretty chill too. Polar bears, though, fuck it, man. You, polar bear, end of story. You're done. So, I'm going to say something incredibly controversial. I don't think polar bears should exist. I don't think we should kill them. I don't think we should murder them. But I think They are part of God's bad dream. I think they are a response, because there's free will and predestination. Fate, destiny, predestination. Let's call that 50%. Let's call free will the other 50%. When we make the wrong choices, especially and mostly when we kill other beings, that act of free will informs fate, destiny. It's kind of like the Apollonian null circle, which I associate with the Wu Chi, which I've only recently learned is related to the Ptolemy theorem, when you translate something inside and outside the circle. However, depending on how we define the inside infinity and the outside, or the Hegel's quote-unquote good and bad infinity, which must be related, if we equate them to each other such that they're equal, even though it may look like the circle's smaller and everything outside the circle's bigger, they may be equal depending on the lens. That's the way free will and fate, quote unquote destiny, relate to each other. So every time we move up that chain of evolution, killing something, we create something on the other side of that boundary more vicious that may kill us and that will also kill other things. And the way all of that weaves together. Which comes back to the whole idea of the goat. Now, I'm a human, and humans do all kinds of bad shit, and sometimes I get mad. Luckily, lately, I get murderously mad. When people are motherfucking assholes, I get mad. But I have gotten to the point, sometimes at work, people are mean. And they might not even be mean to me, they're just mean people. And I gotta go. I gotta get out. So I go down to the store, and luckily, thank God, I have a job where it's if I want to go, I go. Even if my boss is there, even though when my boss is there, I'm on a little better behavior, even though I have a lot of respect for my boss, because he's the hardest working person I've ever met in my fucking life, and he's a good man, but he has his bad days too. He ain't perfect, but it's if I gotta go, I go. I used to just go and go home, and if that meant I had a 5-hour day, fuck it. But yesterday, I just went down to the store, got a coffee, chilled out for a half hour, and then went back to work. That's better. What I'm trying to say is I understand that, hate, and I understand that hate of hate. Do I completely understand it? Do I circumstand it? No. But there are better and worse ways to deal with it. But I could forgive a goat for being a murderous, fucking hateful, satanic killer goat if it lived with the other goats looking around saying, these other animals, aka people, are hurting us up and going phew. So if we want to destroy the satanic cabal, if you want to destroy the satanic cabal, if you're part of QAnon, which has been around for fucking way years back before 2017. It's been around for a long motherfucking time. Never mind what came before, but came before. Thousands of years. You're not allowed to be part of QAnon if you eat any meat. At least not authentically. Besides that, hope you're having a good day. Just think about it. No disrespect. Just